And welcome back to our North American World Championship Qualifiers weekend here. We're back with the Genesis Championship going into round 7 here at the very first time we've ever held this event.
Yeah, so we've seen 7 rounds play out. We've had a few here in the feature match area. We've seen some new strategies like Tellarknights really be impressive, combat things like the Red Dragon Archfiend. Last round we got to see Draco Tail. I really love to see the way in which you have to circumvent some of those point totals with Draco Tail, a deck that really adapts well. We, of course, saw Blitzkrieg the previous round. I know Blitzkrieg player, unfortunately, wasn't able to win, but looking at the top tables, there are Blitzkrieg everywhere in the top tables right now.
A whole click of Blitzkrieg, right?
Yeah, basically.
It's also interesting, too, on that last round, we did see a concession, if I caught that right, as it was getting down to 0. I want to explain something kind of silly. You may not think about this. If you and your opponent are about to hit that double loss, if it gets a double loss, you cannot change the result based on the tournament policy guidelines. But if it's at 1 second, you can concede. And you may think, why would I concede? Well, it actually makes your tiebreakers better if your opponents who you lost to are doing better. So keep that in mind. And speaking of keeping things in mind, you ready to go to the stage?
Absolutely ready to do so.
Time to duel.
For our next round feature match in the blue chair from Fremont, California, a Genesis supporter since day 1 playing at YCS Anaheim, it's Albert Zoe! And his opponent today in the red chair from Edgewater, Maryland, Genesis's biggest cheerleader. Shout out his wife Jillian for finishing her dissertation. It's MBT Joseph Rothschild. Duelists are already on stage, so let's send it back to the casters for game number 1.
2 very prominent Genesis supporters actually playing a prominent Genesis deck. Look at that. It is both Necro's Fairy Tale.
Yeah, Fairy Tale, absolutely a strategy you will anticipate seeing in the advanced constructed format. I think it's a deck that Andres Torres actually piloted to a Worlds slot this past weekend. So you absolutely, if you're playing in the advanced constructed format, should know what the Fairy Tale cards do. Here in Genesis, though, those cards are still really quite potent. You might not be able to fit Fairy Tale Snow into your deck, right, based on point totals, but the rest of the engine is cheap, if not at 0, if you kind of take into consideration the totality of the deck. Now, you don't have some of the access points in the extra deck, some of the Magistus cards you would typically see, or Cortland and Bloom, for instance, but the actual Fairy Tale cards themselves are quite potent. And as you said, these are 2 duelists that are huge advocates of the Genesis format, so it's great to see them this far into the tournament doing really well. I know, Joseph is a name you're probably familiar with. I think he's had some deep runs in YCSs. I think there was the 3v3 in Las Vegas from back in 2023. He partnered with Gage and Alex Simo, got pretty deep into day 2. So not just Genesis, he's a player that's been successful at, YCS events as well.
I remember that one. It was first chance getting really to spend time with Simo. So if you're out there somewhere, thanks for watching over us. But showing up to the duel here again, Joseph is a huge supporter of Genesis, and his opponent is just the same. But welcome to the Fairy Tale Ball. And speaking of which, late last night, you always wander around, you see people in the hotel basically playtesting to wee hours of the night. There was a lot of advanced format duelists actually playtesting through the various Fairy Tale lines. So this may actually be a deck that we see a lot. So if you haven't been introduced to the Fairy Tale cards, this is a good primer because it is Genesis. So it's going to be a little bit of a slower pace here, but it'll give you some time to really gestate on these cards. And given that both duelists are running this deck, I mean, what a great way to just showcase these cards if you haven't seen them. They did do some numbers at YCS Columbus, but just hasn't shown up this far into a tournament when you think about proportionality. I think it was good, did well, but not quite like this. But excited to see it again. Spellcasters are doing well. There's various ways to play it, but you're absolutely right about those point counts when you think about it. This is not advanced format, so you can't just slip in, all of these high point cards like the Fairy Tale Snow, and of course no Link Monsters means no Charmer, Quartet, and Bloom. So this is going to be a very different pace for our Fairy Tale Ball.
Yeah, so as a result of that, you're going to cut down on some of the Fairy Tale names. Obviously, both of these players are probably going to bring the 3 copies of Luna to the table. Giru, you might not be able to allocate all 3 slots, but that's another one of the Fairy Tales that we've seen recently. Obviously, Eugenia of the Ring doesn't have Fairy Tale in the name, but for all intents and purposes serves as a Fairy Tale. Then in terms of the spells, I think regardless of whether or not you're looking at Genesis or Advanced Constructed, you're going to see Fairy Tale Ball. It's one of the most powerful field spells, honestly, available to players in either format. Tales of the Fairy Tale and Once Upon a Fairy Tale, other popular inclusions as well. So even though the lines ultimately are probably going to differ quite considerably because we don't have access to Link monsters, we might not be able to get access to Fairy Tale Snow based on point totals, you'll see some very similar cards. Additionally, these decks will also be able to incorporate Emperor of Endymion and Regulus, the Prince of Endymion, a new package offered to this strategy as well.
Well, it is time to jump on in.
What if I had opened something crazy?
Big numbers there from
you're fine.
Albert, but again, seeing the Molcharmi, the Effect Filler in hand, not a lot of starters, but we do have our Luna.
That is okay.
Well, that's probably the best starter. A lot of starters is not the same as no starters, and the single starter of Luna is the best possible. This uninterrupted in Advanced Construct, I know exactly where that ends up. I'm not as familiar with exactly what path Albert's elected to go through, just because the point totals in every deck can differ, so it'll be interesting to see what he decides to do in regards to navigating with Luna as his uninterrupted opening play. Now here's Genium of the Ring, because he has an 1850 on the field. Now he can access the extra deck. He could potentially go into a powerful monster like Wiccat. This is a card that, if you're unfamiliar with, really quite startling when you first read it. Anytime you see a card that basically lets you send 2 from the deck of your choice. Now obviously that combines really well with Fairy Tale Snow. I'm not sure that he's allocating the points for Snow here. So instead we're going to see him send down Once Upon a Fairy Tale. And it looks like he's potentially going for, yeah, absolutely, Tales of the Fairy Tale.
Once Upon a Fairy?
Yeah.
So looks like we're going to activate the effect of Once Upon a Fairy Tale now.
Yeah, so what Once Upon a Fairy Tale is going to be able to do is reset itself.
He's got the Fairy Tale monster, so you can activate that, and I love that he's using the Witchcrafter sleeves there. Certainly a Spellcaster fan. Interesting, I did see a Nibiru the Primal Being in Joseph's hand.
So now we see the additional normal summon that's granted. Interesting thing about that is when we are utilizing the additional normal summon, obviously that is something that is once per turn. The fusion effect, though, is not. Sometimes that comes up and you naturally draw. Tales of the Fairy Tale, you can actually conduct a fusion summon, have it be sent to the graveyard, bring it back, do an extra normal summon, and you actually get to conduct 2 fusion summons. Here we see, though, the Fairy Tale Magikiru. Special summon that out. Throws those 1850 monsters. Now he will search out a copy of Fairy Tale Ball. So this is a fascinating field spell. Obviously, many field spells have similar effects where you get to search your deck upon activation, but in addition to that, you also have the ability to attack directly and have some form of interaction on your opponent's turn by changing one of the monsters to Prince of Fairies and also offer monster negation. I will say, though, that Joseph did something that I really love. He read that card.
It did. It is important. Reading and retaining is a big part of this game. And speaking of retaining information, remember that Fairy Tale Witcat is protecting all original light attribute Fairy Tale monsters from being affected by your opponent's activated effects. And Nibiru the Primal Being would be just that. So while the Nibiru is good and certainly got Joseph this far, I don't know that it's going to be a lot of help here, but it looks like we're going to go and activate it now just to get rid of the Witcat.
But think about it. Joseph's playing Fairy Tale.
He is playing
If you ask to read a card in your deck.
Oh, I see. Wow,
it's
what a
really,
fate.
yeah, if
like,
you're
it's
also
on the Wiccat.
playing a somewhat less well-known deck, it's a great strategy. All you have to do is 1, but then it hides if Albert doesn't know that Joseph's playing Fairy Tale. It's actually an interesting way of kind of hiding the fact that you're also playing that strategy.
I use a ball.
Well, when you're a high-profile duelist, sometimes you have a target on your back, but both of these are Genesis enthusiasts, so I think this is going to be a fair and honest duel. Think for a second.
Effect on the Nibiru.
I think he's using Luna's effect where he's going to try to bounce.
I'll pass here.
Oh, no, maybe not.
Okay.
Oh, he's just passing turn here. Okay.
All right, let's see what the 5th card is in the hands. Oh, a DD Crow.
Main phase.
So the reason that mattered is
about to have a
the
lot of
Tales
fun.
of the Fairy Tale
Regulus effect.
was
I will
attached
reveal
to the
Emilio.
Witcat, so now he can't conduct the fusion summon because although those 2 monsters survive
Regulus
post
effect
Nibiru
on
because of
field.
Witcat's effect, the ability to fusion summon doesn't resolve.
So we were talking about the Regulus, the Prince of Endymion before. We had to go ahead and reveal to get it out. Now we're using its effect on the field.
Target Regulus.
Not thrilled about it. Sure. So I have 2 Princes of Fairies.
So now the Fairy Tale Ball just changed the name of Regulus.
That's fine.
I will grab
Discarding the Necrozabrianak there. Certainly a powerful searching card, but at 0 points feels like a bargain.
Now we have Necroz of Castor.
Oh, yeah, I'm at 62 here. Or 68.
68, yeah, because he took both 100 from
Amelia effect.
Sure.
Both duelists know, the cat's not quite out of the bag yet, so we haven't seen any fairy tale monsters, but I think pretty soon
Yeah, that's fine.
the surprise will get spoiled.
So because he has a Warrior
That's fine.
Necroz
Good.
in his
Free
graveyard, he can special
new?
summon Amelia, Dance Princess of the Necroz, and this will allow him to search another Ritual monster, which will allow him to search out another copy of Necroz of Ryanak.
How many cards in hand? 4?
Don't look like we're doing anything yet. 4 cards in hand for Joseph. Albert making sure that he doesn't miss an opportunity to jump into this game.
So the Necroz side of the Fairy Tale strategy is probably not something you're going to see in Advanced Constructed, but it just illustrates the beauty of Genesis, where you can still inherently play, let's say, a Fairy Tale strategy, but you have to get creative in how you're going to actually navigate through the point reductions and the inability to use Link monsters.
Sorry, this is a big thinker.
That's fine.
All right, big think. Trying to put together the pieces of the puzzle here, but materials are 2 level 4s, so looks like we got our own Fairy Tale Woodcat now.
Wicked effect.
I will
Now we're
activate
going to
Veiler here.
attach 2, and that's going to be
Veiler?
met by Effect Veiler.
Effect Veiler is a little bit of a surprise
Not
there.
ideal.
8 points a pop, but worth it here.
It's really not ideal.
Joseph doesn't seem pleased by that.
He is wearing his Heart of the Cards on his sleeve. But vocalizing his discontent, looks like we're going to go and accept that. The card is negated, so we check the graveyard, seeing what's next. May seem like an expensive effect negation there, but it could be certainly worth the points, right? Sometimes you want a Mulcharmy, sometimes you want an Effect Veiler, both the same cost, but clearly one helps over the other.
Sure.
We can go ahead and search in the deck again here. Take a little bit of a preview.
Can you check the graveyard book?
Yeah.
Interesting choices. Albert will look through the graveyard, but it looks like we're going to go ahead and grab even more Necros cards there. Certainly the engine is pushing this duel further than if he just kind of, had Wicat negate the end.
Yeah.
But we haven't seen him be able to get stuff because just Albert didn't have like a million pieces of interaction, but just enough to keep Joseph on his toes.
Yeah, this Advance allowed him to special summon another Amelia from his deck. So now he's got all different level 4 monsters that we've seen thus far.
Oh,
And you can start to see, if you're not familiar with the Genesis variation of Fairy Tale,
how do I
why
beat
we're
this?
seeing a Necroz package within the deck. When you're able to
you can
access really
always
powerful cards like
blame.
Fairy Tale Wicat, you want to have as many level 4s in your deck as possible.
it is rough.
Shuffles his hand, admits that it's a little rough. We take a look at the extra deck here.
I'm going to send...
We'll send away.
Wicket and Amelia for Choroso.
So going into the smallest Magistus package, right? The tiniest Magistus monster.
Yeah, but we're not able to access Artemis, I believe is the Link one, so it'll be interesting to see.
Choroso is a tuner, though.
I mean, it is a tuner, absolutely. I'm curious to see exactly what this, what this alternates to relative to what we would see in the advanced constructed variation of Fairy Tale.
Battle.
Battle phase
All
it
right,
is.
so we're going to go to battle phase.
Sure. At the start of battle,
Yep.
Albert jumping finally in.
activate Luna's effect, targeting the Choroso.
So we're going to use
I don't know my
Luna.
response to that.
Which
So
is a
Luna's going to bounce
unfortunate.
that.
No, I'm
She's back to the extra deck.
losing it here. How big is that token? 1,000 defense?
Yeah, I think he just tributed it with cats, so it's 18, 15, 1,000.
Double checking the match, just 1,000 defense
I'll go Nibiru over the match Giru here.
there. Ooh. Are we about to do something here?
I'm going to
Albert,
activate
thinking about it.
Once upon here, summon.
All right.
No
We're going to
response.
use Once Upon a Summon.
This is going to allow him to special summon from his hand and graveyard, and presumably
Yeah.
banished, but he doesn't have anything banished right now. So it's only going to be from the graveyard and from his hand, or in this case, only from his hand.
All right, redeclare.
Yep.
We'll walk over the Luna.
I'll use Luna's effect here, targeting.
So Luna's searching ability is only when it's normal summon, so he didn't special summon that, and he was not able to search. Obviously, that's just not how Luna
It's
works.
going to shock you. I'm not playing 2 events.
But we are going to see the bounce effect, and as you would anticipate, Joseph's only playing 1 copy of Avance. As a result, he can't stop
I'll
that
walk over
Luna
to
effect.
Magic Hero.
Yeah.
So finally got some damage. Just going to leave that Nibiru token.
850? Yep, that sound right. Main 2. I'll pass.
All right.
Play passes back over to Albert. Didn't suffer too much, but did lose pretty much every piece of the field he established. The only monster he has is the one Joseph gave him, Nibiru the Primal Being token.
My turn now, bro.
Yep, go for it.
It is certainly a credit to the pace of Genesis. Not every deck plays like this, right? If it was Red Dragon Archfiend, maybe it was able to pile on through.
I'm going to normal
But
summon Luna.
this is kind of a grindy, like just back and forth, using the same effects over and over and over, although we do see a little bit of derivation here. Super polymerizations, I did not peep when Joseph was sorting through his deck. Unless they were just all at the bottom, but I missed it.
I do think he has them, so that is definitely a breaking, like a very much
Yeah, no
clear
response to that.
break point in the mirror match between these two strategies, given that there are Fairy Tale specific fusion monsters.
Okay.
We have here Luna and then Magic Hero coming back from the graveyard. Now we are searching out an additional copy of Fairy Tale Ball.
Imagine
Activating
whose
Magic
Fairy Tale
Hero.
Prince will fuse with whose Fairy Tale monster.
Wait, that's still.
I was like, I don't
so,
think it
yeah.
actually.
I can't actually do anything.
So the Super Polymerization Wars continue. But we haven't seen hide nor hair of the cards.
Activate.
Albert getting ready to activate another card from the graveyard.
Tails in the graveyard. Putting to Luna.
DD Crow.
Now we have a copy of DD Crow to stop the Tales of the Fairy Tale, and that's pretty pivotal. It's going to slow down some of the long-term grind game if this game lasts longer than the turn that we see here. But there is the possibility that Albert's able to establish enough that it's a moot point. We know in Joseph's hand that he has Bryanak and Cataster. Bryonak's
Activate
primary
Rulilus
function
here.
in this deck is obviously to search out additional Necros.
That's fine.
Roll.
5650.
Getting into a copy of something like Amelia, but I don't think a single copy of Amelia or Avance rather is enough right now. So I don't see enough on Joseph's side, even with that DD Crow, especially given
Empire.
the complexion of Albert's field right now. And then here we have the Empire of Endymion. It's going to allow him now to search out another copy of Regulus.
Doing just a great job utilizing the spellcaster cards he has, dropping out a Fairy Tale
to be
Luna there. Decent sized numbers, 6,800. We already see 1850, 1850. Still have to get rid of the Nibiru the Primal Being. Looking at the grave, we've got 5 cards.
That's fine.
Joseph's fine with it. Not going to do anything
Battle
just yet.
phase. Luna attacks directly.
Yep.
So we are at the Fairy Tale Ball here.
4950.
Yep. Match gear attacks directly.
3100.
Almost shades of Lyralus, you know, just seeing a big threat like that and being like, I'll just go underneath it or over it. I'm not worried.
Prince of Fairies.
Yep.
Regular stacks.
Yeah, you got it.
So Luna
That's it.
just used the quick effect to bounce the Nibiru back to hand. It's kind of interesting that given the way that turn played out, it kind of revealed that Joseph's not playing additional copies of Nibiru, or at least elected not to send the additional copy of Nibiru.
Yep, Albert is the winner of this duel. And
Oh, actually, I'm sorry. That card's name is Prince of Fairies, not Nibiru.
that's right.
You can't
Yeah.
send a Prince of Fairies. Yeah, that's obviously how the whole archetype
That's why
works.
he said, like, this may shock you, but I'm not running Prince of Fairies in my deck. Yeah.
obviously. Yeah, it took a second to kind of compute that. That's obviously the great interaction of Luna, is when you ask your opponent, yeah, you can stop my Luna bounce if you have a Prince of Fairies in your deck, ... card that doesn't exist.
Imagine if they ever printed like a normal monster the greatest side deck tech. Just be like, I was ready just for this.
Sorry about that.
But
When I board into question, you are cooked.
hey, you never know in Genesis, a lot of interesting cards work.
Yeah, I think they didn't. It has like 75, right? Something ridiculous.
I think it's like 30.
They're talking about how many points Question has right now.
And there are some Genesis aficionados. Great place to find new friends.
Casters, can you answer that question? How much is question?
Oh, yeah, sure. I could look that up. Hey, no, yeah, we can hear you. We can hear you. He can't hear us. But...
No, he definitely cannot hear us. So I just want to make sure the players at home might be questioning, wait a minute, you have direct lines of communication with the players? Can they hear you as we're commentating their hands? No, they cannot hear what we're saying.
He made a prayer to the Egyptian
plenty
god
far
card.
away.
We're going to
can hear them. They absolutely cannot hear us. Joseph will have to hear us answer that question when he's back in his hotel later this evening. And watching back over this feature match.
The answer to Joseph's question is, as I scroll through the full
I
list
actually
here,
think it's a point value greater than strict superior options like Monster Reborn.
it's 11.
Yeah, but I think Monster Reborn is less to make it such that from a strategic perspective, there's no benefit in playing Question over Monster Reborn.
Monster Reborn is 3. Question is 11. You could run 3 Monster Reborns, or you could just have that one question just to mess with people. And in some decks, that can be beneficial. If you have a deck where you either want to revive or banish, you mentioned there's a Malice monster at the bottom.
Then it doesn't matter if we hurt them.
Yeah, we can get far from.
Yeah, Giddy Sal off the desk. Start getting YouTubers up there. All right, good luck to you. I'm going to go first. Yeah.
All right, well, some friendly banter. And some shout-outs to certain members of an unnamed Xyz monster that I shall not say. You in the chat know exactly which wonky monster I'm talking about. But let's get a game 2. Put our dueling action right on the table as the players are picking up their hands just now. And let's see what Joseph does as he has an opportunity to go first.
He does have a copy of Super Polymerization, so he's got some nice counterplay. Does look like Albert has a Molcharmi in hand.
Weird opener. I apologize.
No, that's fine.
Weird opener, you say? What do you got?
Looks like he's got a copy of Luna and a copy of Crowley.
That's fine.
And then on the opposing side of Albert, I swear I saw Molcharmi in the opening hand. It's Wallow, so we haven't done much. Probably when we get 2 level 4s, I imagine that's the activation timing.
Yeah, that would make sense.
So as he clutches his cards carefully, thought we were going to go ahead and get the Genie there, but maybe digging a little deeper into the deck list.
It's Genia.
It's
Genia.
Genia.
I want it to be Luna, but it's Genia.
Well, you should have saved your points for that after all. But Genia is still really good. Easy way to get an additional body onto the field fast.
It looks like he naturally drew the Machigiru.
That is fine.
On field.
Sure.
So now this will allow him to look through his deck, and that will add the Fairy Tale Ball.
Here.
I think this is going to prompt the Fuwalos.
Just on time.
So now Joseph has to make a decision. Does he think
I'll give
the
you some
DD
draws.
Crow Super Poly? Okay, that answers that question. I was just about to say, do you think he'll allow him to draw? The answer to that is going to be yes. Now, from the perspective of Joseph, even just 1 Exceed Summon of Wiccat sends 2 down from the deck. Now, unfortunately for him, there is a effect failure in Albert's hand.
That's fine.
Wiccat.
Here's the effect failure.
You're killing me.
You detach from crossbow.
Yeah, you're right.
He was going to detach 2 anyway. Super Polymerization, discard.
Oh, okay, so he's chaining
This
Super
is
Polymerization.
Weaver.
Smart.
I want the negate.
Okay, so now he's going to put up...
I mean, the Weaver could be mini gates.
Or it could give you 9 draws.
9 draws, says Joseph.
I am
I don't know if he's
already
going to be able to go to 9 draws.
Locked here, right? Yeah.
He is
Hey.
going to give him an extra draw, though, off the Super Poly.
But I think that's worth it to get the
There's
Wiccat off
anything
the
I can
field
go
so the
into
effect
that's
failure
more interesting
resolves
than
without its actual effect
Yeah,
resolving.
no, absolutely.
So many draws, so little
Okay, so
time.
chorizo.
All right. Took him a few decision points there, but he ended up going to Weaver of Fairy Tales.
How many decision points are you allowed to have in Genesis?
I don't know.
All right, but as we continue to go through, it's like we'll go ahead and send our spells to the grave, setting up.
Once Upon a Fairy Tale. The question here is he going to use Weaver to special summon from his deck and give another draw? He doesn't have anything in the banished pile. You know, without Fairy Tale Snow, getting cards into the banished pile, a little bit more difficult. I mean, he did say 9 draws, so let's put Joseph to the test.
Tails effect.
2 so far, right?
Yep. All right, so now he's using Tails to reset,
Luna.
getting an additional normal granted by the effect of Tails, and now we have a Fairy Tale Luna. And again, Fairy Tale Luna is not once per turn. So he is able now, because he is special summoning it for a second time this turn, able to search his deck. And he will get another copy of Fairy Tale Luna.
Worked out for his opponent.
So now he's reset from
How
the
many you got in hand
graveyard.
right now? 5.
So he won't be able to do that again, but he does have the Fusion Summon if he wants to
6.
give Albert
go to
9 draws.
6.
It's totally on the table.
If I go...
Go change his mind.
That sounds so bad. What'd I say? Oh, I said the A word. My bad.
Yours is 6-7.
Yeah.
Might be a small issue there. Just watch
Both
yourself.
unconscionable, I'll be honest.
Unconscionable, by the way. There's your word of the day.
Oh, fine. Weaver effect.
That's fine.
Okay, summoning from deck. We're working our way up to 9 summons.
Tails effect.
And we're going to go again into the extra deck.
Okay.
This at least is going to put a negate on the field in Teller.
Tell her
Fairy
fairy tales. And getting a good master class of what each of these cards do. So
Go
maybe when
ahead.
it comes in advanced format, you already know.
My turn.
It looks like past turn there. Want to put something up. Let's see if Joe can strategically use his placement, or if this is going to be a comeback of Albert's persuasion. So he's sitting there trying to figure out what he wants to use.
So to summarize, we have Weaver, that if a non-Earth Fairy Tale summoned in your monster zone, you can target an effect monster, negate it, change its name to Prince of Fairy Tales. That's more difficult to do without Snow, but it is conceivable. Then, of course, we have Teller. Teller is one that when your opponent activates a card or effect, you can banish a Fairy Tale from your hand to graveyard. That does negate and destroy.
I'm going to activate Necros of Leonak here.
So we're going for a very...
Also on the cross stuff. How do you like it this weekend?
Yeah.
I love this.
The banter is great. When you get two masterclass duelists like Albert and Joseph, and they've been in this format, and they're playing the same deck, it's like, are you enjoying that? Yeah, it's all right.
Oh, you liking those Necrons? I see we're both here 5-1. Pretty decent records thus far this weekend.
And activate melee effect.
Very few undefeated duelists left in the tournament, by the way. I think there was only just a handful.
Yeah.
So these are two real duelists in contention, and we're only in round 7. Of course, we're playing 8 rounds of Swiss today, is my understanding.
So Necroz of Bryanak searches out a copy. Oh, actually, sorry, it was Amelia, and then that searches out a copy of Necroz of Cataster.
Certainly gets you a lot of value there. Free 4 never felt bad, especially in a rank 4 deck. Joseph takes a quick peek at one card, look at the face down, but the thumbs up, so it resolves.
Effect search, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Gonna have to find out if maybe there was just too many cards given by Joseph to Albert, or if the field actually is going to be able to hold together here. But he certainly has a heap and helping of cards. I mean, that is 7 in the hand.
Yeah. And again, we see the synergy between the Necroz cards. Just by discarding Bryanak, it fulfills the ability of Amelia to be special summoned. Searches out a copy of Cataster. Now, we're calling this Necroz. We're not really going to see actual ritual summoning. It's really just for the sake of putting bodies on the field. And then Cataster has an effect that might come up, right? If a Necroz monster battles an opponent's monster that was special summoned from the extra deck, it can destroy it.
Forbidden Chalice on Teller.
Ooh, a Forbidden Chalice. We're seeing quite a bit of it.
Sorry,
You have forced my hand.
Cataster's effect is you can discard it to target a Necroz engraver and special summon it. I was trying to say that the special summoning effects, as if they were actual ritual monsters, are not going to functionally come up, but they have these secondary effects that are discarded. They happen to function well with the Necroz normal summon monsters.
Yeah.
All right, take a look at the grave here. We've got our Luna, our Machigiru, Witcat, a couple of other names in there as well.
I'm going to attempt to use
Didn't see the bottom, so I don't know if we've got question.
DD Pro on Witcat.
This kind of forces a conversation here. Joe lets up a heavy sigh, takes a look at his hand. What's it going to be? Is it the face down?
What's your angle here? You're trying to get down to like a profitable Cycon? Seems unlikely.
Love that we can hear the inner Yami Yugi of Joe. Working out the thought process out loud, but...
I'll chain Witcat, target Luna.
Gonna shade the Witcat.
Yeah, so Witcat now will send Luna to the graveyard.
I mean, this is grave.
What am I doing?
This is a way to trigger the Weaver, right? Typically,
Anything here?
Fairy Tale Snow would be the most common, but Witcat is a
1,
dark.
2, 3, 4, 5, 6 to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
That's
6.
And then, okay, yes, of course, Tails goes to the graveyard because it was equipped. If you're curious why is Joseph counting, he's trying to evaluate if Excite Knight is a threat.
Does he need to consolidate his cards in order to make sure that his opponent is the one with more cards? He hasn't done it yet. It's a decent field, right? A lot of protection from the Witcat for all of those light Fairy Tale monsters. And still has the Teller of Fairy Tales as well. But it looks like we're going to go ahead and... A lot of decisions here. I mean, it's kind of a decision tree and a half.
Now I'm going to activate Luna effect on Weaver.
Okay, so this is a way that's going to force the Weaver.
You got me.
So that's going to go ahead and bounce back. Less and less cards to Joseph's
Deactivating
name.
Genie effect on Taylor.
Now Genie is going to come down. Another level 4.
I think we're about to build the overlay network here. Seems like Albert tempted to put his hand
I'm
down.
going to activate
Maybe not.
the Magical Enhanced Summon.
Not much Kiru. And more level 4s on the field. Being able to search.
Okay.
Take Magical face on field.
Magic Air Effect activates. Let's see.
Without the Weaver, this is kind of tough. So you can just overlay here.
Almost feel like we have a third duelist at the desk.
Those are great. I will ball here, target magic.
So now Ball, because a monster is summoned, allows you to negate, change the name to Prince of Fairies.
Well, now we're going to go ahead and build the overlay network.
Yeah,
And
okay.
we'll
Into
Witcat.
Witcat.
That effect.
Yeah.
This may be the breakthrough point. I feel like this might be where Albert may be able to punch through. Of course, only a few cards left to Joseph's name. 8,000 life points feels like a lot, but when your opponent is able to attack directly if they establish their own field spell, that could be difficult.
Well, that's very interesting.
I'm going to activate Tails here.
So now the DD Crow is going to hit the tail, so it can't reset itself. Well, establish itself on field to grant an additional normal summon.
I'm going to activate Once Upon.
So this is the one that will allow him to special summon from his hand, graveyard, and banished if possible. In this case, there are no banished Fairy Tale, so we'll be able to summon a Luna from hand, and then he'll be able to summon. Looks like he's thinking about Mechigiru. It's in fact the one that he'll summon.
Always
this-
love the art of these cards, too.
Yep. Now that's a special summon again, so Luna will not be activating.
Feel like we are getting towards the final pages of this chapter of the Fairy Tale. Not that I'm cheering for any particular duelist, but Joseph admittedly is in a difficult position.
Yeah, both of these duelists came to this tournament with the same narrative, but it does look like Albert is the one who's being able to push forward a little bit more effectively this match, even though both of these players are playing very similar strategies.
Well, 3 material exceeds. What do we have here?
Looks like we're going to go into Alchemaic Magician. This will allow him basically to search his deck out for a copy of Super Polymerization, which could presumably be a real back-breaking card in the mirror match. Now we have Once Upon a Fairy Tale. That's going to put a Mechigiru on field and a Luna.
Grab ball.
All of a sudden, Joseph swing in action here.
Luna effect. Luna effect target alchemic.
This makes sense. There's definitely not copies of that. And
There's the concession, I think. No, is it?
I think it is.
Yeah,
All
okay.
right.
So Joseph back
That
on the
was a
board
weird
here. Maybe surprised that he made it, but he did a great job there holding out.
Saitama is so weird in this matchup.
Yeah. Before the Alchemaic hit the field, I thought
Saying the A word?
Albert was in a pretty strong position.
That is not great.
It's important to read your tournament policy guidelines. There's plenty of rules that you need to follow.
Don't I know it? I saw the Sam video.
But Joseph was able to win that game,
He
even
was.
though he contemplated
God,
something like
Bruner.
9 draws through Flawless. I think he ultimately gave him about 4 or 5, though.
Discard might be funny.
But it shows you that he made the right call, right? He did try to give his opponent 9 draws. He didn't give his opponent the full 9, but he was still able to climb out of the hole there. Now we're getting to game 3. I think everybody kind of knows what's going on at this point. Both players have had a chance to show things off, but Joseph musing to himself, this is an interesting side deck card. I wonder if this will be fun. Throws it in.
I love the commentary.
It is nice when you get people who are comfortable at the featured match stage, whether they're winning or losing, they still put on that great dual-tainment that we know and love.
Man, I could watch Sam play in the feature match area all day.
Well, maybe he'll be back here. Although, man, Eye of Truth. If you didn't catch Sam's duel, you'll definitely want to scroll back. I want to say maybe it was round 4.
So this is round 7.
It's in there. You'll recognize it. Just scroll back.
It might be round... Yeah, it might be round 4. I'm trying to think because we did not commentate that round. We did round 5, which was Telenites versus Red Dragon Archfiend, so it has to be round 4.
Well, it's a real treat.
But yeah, absolutely.
It's a real treat. Now, don't go away. First, I guess you could scroll back then and then scroll back here once they're done side decking.
Oh yeah, definitely watch that after you watch round 7 and 8.
But Joseph locked in, and Albert already ready to present his deck. Hang in there.
Sorry, give me a second.
Certainly some dry air here.
Make sure to have you right before presenting.
Oh, he's got some Eyes of Truth too.
Oh, wow, yeah. Certainly a really cool, popular card, and you gotta love to see it. When a crazy side deck tech shows up that nobody has seen for a long time and it completely gets the job done, that is what this game is about.
What are you thinking? I'll go first. Yeah.
I love the way Joseph's, hey, what are you thinking, first or second?
Today. These are fun. Good luck to you.
There's like a lot of people.
They're standing by.
What were you saying?
Yeah, I feel like a lot of people are on like the gold.
Yeah. I was on it for a couple of weeks, but it's an extender when you already have a guy landed, so.
Yeah, no, so it does feel like you end up playing a non-engine and like wasting the point.
Great listening to these duelists.
Oh, yeah,
some of the intricacies of their fairy. Yeah, if we ever go quiet, just because we're listening too.
Yes. We want you guys to be able to hear them too, so it's not like we're taking a nap.
Ooh, love me some Metamorphosis.
Oh my goodness.
Oh, not so fast.
Wait.
Ooh, I'm a Perulia.
Yeah.
That could be pretty good.
So it looks like Albert has Bryanak. Quite a bit of non-engine in his hand, actually.
I definitely think the Metamorphosis is worth it when you think about the fact that the Fairy Tale Fusions, I mean, it's
they're all level 4s.
Yeah.
It's fantastic.
And it's relatively low pointage here, being only at 3 points a pop.
People consider playing it in Advanced Constructed.
Oh, I definitely do. Anything like a level 7 deck where there's Kashtira, Heck of Hands. You ever heard of this card called The Last Warrior from Another Planet?
Yep, I'm familiar.
100 points in Genesis, so not dice.
So here we have Advanced. This is the one that lets you special summon level 4 from the deck, which is going to allow him to summon Amelia. And then Amelia.
Castor?
Yes.
Searches out Cataster, which allows him to discard and revive back from the graveyard. So you can see, again, why we're playing the Necros package within Fairy Tale. It's really the Fairy Tale cards that end on the field in terms of interaction points and allow you to really actually attack for game. But the Necros stuff kind of works behind the scenes in terms of at least setting up.
Well, we've sized up our materials here, but obviously that Perulia is a little bit of a threat. So many cards do drop from the hands.
Right, the additional normal summons.
Oh, there it is.
You're playing meta!
Even Joseph's excited.
Have you liked this?
Yeah, that's pretty nice.
Small investment.
Small 3-point investment.
Yeah, 3 points feels pretty good to just
Do you mind?
cheat out a rank 4. Or should be
Just
level
gotta
4.
double
the
check
old
this
one. Offer
Pharaonic
1 month.
Guardian flashback.
What am I going to do?
But Metamorphosis allows him to summon Weaver. Now Weaver will allow him to special summon from the deck. This is totally circumventing the fact that if he summons from hand, Joseph gets to draw due to the Perulia.
And he just happened to draw it. Sometimes strong duelists just draw strong cards. No search necessary.
So here's Machigiru. Now that's going to allow him to search out a spell.
Taking a second to think about that, but it looks like we have made our decision. And not doing too bad, really dodging each of those charming
Tails of the
poorly
fairy
draws.
tale.
Yep.
So this
Yeah,
is
no problem.
going to... Okay, so it looks like he's choosing to use it in order to conduct a fusion summon. I have to imagine the fact that it stayed on the field, that maybe he did it on Amelia. Nope, okay, he didn't. He'll send it to the graveyard now.
Yeah.
This puts the Teller on the field, and now this gets to reset
It's
itself.
on it has to be on Teller. Yeah.
Yep, has to be on Teller. It's the only fairy tale. If it does matter, he can still fusion summon again.
Zero effect.
It's the resetting from the graveyard, the reactivating from the graveyard, replacing, however you want to word it. That's once per turn.
We got some magic.
But the fusion summon
Weaver.
multiple
Is
times.
not, yeah.
Yeah.
Giru's fine.
So Machigiru back on the field.
And then...
Got 2 level 4s.
Castor effect.
Oh, we don't even need to worry about that. It's Castor time, or Catastor. Now we have 3 level 4s, and we're going to use all of them here. Build the overlay network to exceed summon. Thinking about that Witcat for a second. But it's going to be the Alchemic Magician.
Proceed to end phase.
I got nothing.
End phase, alchemic effect.
So we're going to detach here and discard. And there's the Super Polymerization set to the field. Now that's Alchemy.
That's here.
Yep. We saw that threatening game 2 here. It actually gets to resolve, much more likely, obviously, to resolve going first. Then he's got DD Crow and Ghost Ogre in terms of hand interaction follow-up. So this is a lot.
Stand by main.
Yep.
Oy, 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 oy.
Joseph feeling like his work is cut out for him, but he does have a decent starter and Cosmic Cyclone at the ready there, knowing that it's Super Polymerization.
How on earth do I beat Super Poly?
Well,
I've been here
it's...
so many times.
Well, he has the Teller.
I haven't figured it out yet.
Oh, that is true, yeah.
Regulus, reveal, Machigiru.
That is fine.
Slowly but surely here.
68.
So you can reveal a spellcaster in order to special summon Regulus.
effect.
So between the Regulus and Necrouse cards, there's just a lot of ways of establishing level 4 spellcasters on the field to combine with the Fairy Tales. This is going to allow him to search out a copy of Empire of Endymion. There's also a protection effect with Regulus, but
Empire
for
effect.
the majority of time, you're going to see it really utilized just as a way of putting bodies on the field.
This deck does that very efficiently. I can see why everybody was staying up all night to playtest this for the advanced format.
You should see some of the stuff it can do in advance.
Oh, yeah. Save that for tomorrow.
Machigiru effect to search.
Sure.
So Machigiru searches unhindered. Adding to his repertoire a new level 4 monster. Let's see what we grab.
Well, this is going to search a spell.
I will grab once.
Yeah, he's going to search out the Once Upon a Fairy Tale.
Anything here?
I don't know if Joseph did this on purpose, but his hand actually includes some of the other
Machigiru effect to
targets.
change
At least
the
I
name.
think it does.
Sure.
I can't tell if he has ball in hand, but sometimes that's a way of making it such that it's not evident that your hand is chock full of engine if you make it seem like it's a decision when it's actually just not a decision.
Yeah.
And you're not going to spend 45 seconds to really milk it, but it actually looks like he has ball and tails already in his hand.
Target Machigiru.
So it's just a way of kind of hiding some of the cards in your hand. So Joseph's made some good,
Tails effect.
very subtle, I wouldn't quite call them mind games, but just really subtle pauses here or there to hide some of the cards that he has access to.
A very intelligent guy making very intelligent decisions. Sometimes cloaked in his aloofness, but no, he's really under the hood. He's in there.
So Tails boosts by 1,000. So we see that.
Oh, that's a brain fart.
Like the subtitles would just say horse noises.
I think you're all right.
Love the friendly banter again. This has been a real treat to watch. Decisions. Eyeballing the Teller Fairy Tales, and that's what's going out in the field.
Teller effect.
That's on here.
That's the Super Poly.
No response.
So the materials are...
Freeze play, Genesis Duelist. Freeze play, Genesis Duelist. That is time of the round.
Thinking about it. Lots of different options in there, Albert. You know, obviously, both these duels could still very well be in contention. Going X2 into the next day of an 8-round tournament, it's not too bad.
You're right. To my opponent's 8,000. Y'all are keeping me honest here.
I'll send these two for actually.
Yeah, so that, you know, it's an interesting trade. Joseph changed the name to Prince of Fairies so that he could utilize it as fusion material, but then ultimately knowing that there's a super polymerization. So it's a kind of an interesting trade-off here. It really simplifies everything down.
Yep.
And now we have Bryanak that's going to be able to search out.
Can I see your grave? Can you fan it out real quick?
Yeah. No, I'm still in here.
Nothing to worry about here.
Nope.
So that's one way of saying it.
We'll just grab advance.
Yep, advance.
So just
Makes sense.
super poly, you know.
Yeah.
So the Necro shenanigans continue here. Easy summon, obviously.
Advance effect.
For sure.
So now we're going to be able to special summon Amelia from the deck.
Amelia effect.
And Amelia effect is going to search out Catastor.
I think, well, the card play is so fascinating back and forth. One of my favorite parts of this duel is the banter.
Oh yeah, they've had some great banter back and forth, just discussing card choices, experiences over the course of the weekend, love for Genesis in general.
Ball effect. Yep. Grab Luna.
Yeah, Joseph's feeling really good now, though. You can definitely tell by base of play. I think he was able to navigate through that field. He said he had no way of playing around Super Poly, or that he hasn't discovered a common way of doing it. Well, he did it with actually keeping Cosmic Cyclone in hand the whole time.
Just making Wickhat.
We go to Wickhat. That's now going to detach 2, send 2 down from the deck.
Tails.
Okay,
Yeah,
so
you
we're going
mentioned
to
he was-
Tails first.
And she was feeling better. I think another tell is that the self-deprecating humor is evaporated. Now it's just card effects.
Yep, additional normal summon on Luna.
There's the Genya.
You're at 8 here.
Just a quick check. Yep, all
Magic Gear
full.
effect.
Magic Gear from the graveyard.
Genia, target Wickhat. Battle.
This is an 1850, and yeah, that's enough for game.
There's the handshake. Joseph Rothschild manages to
match.
climb out
Really
at a
interesting.
great match. Great match indeed.
Yeah, he really navigated the turn with the Super Poly really well, taking advantage of the chains of Prince of Fairies.
So Mr. Rothschild moves forward at X and 1 in round 7.
Just giving us a taste of some of these powerful Fairy Tale cards. And again, this is not even close to what this deck can do
Oh,
in Advanced
yeah.
Constructed. So if you're a fan of the Fairy Tale cards, clearly here, moving on X1 deep into our first day of the Genesis Championship. It's one of the top contenders. And then if you stay tuned for the weekend, you can see it played kind of in its full potential.
Oh, absolutely.
Once you start to incorporate cards like Snow and some really actually powerful Link monsters that put the opening play of this deck up there with some of the top ones this weekend.
And as I scan my memory banks, actually, I think at YCS Columbus, we did have a top 8 Fairy Tale duelist. I just wasn't casting it match, so that's why it's not engraved upon my brain. But it shows you this deck really, I don't know that it surprised duelists, but it just kind of crept up on people. All these various spellcasters being added to the equation, and then just the huge sort of chef's kiss that is Genia, and obviously all the other cards we get in the advanced format. This deck is something to look out for.
I think obviously it goes without saying, but Fairy Tale Snow coming off the Forbidden list, I mean, it's a Fairy Tale deck, but the deck works so much better when you have access to Fairy Tale Snow with Wickhat, and then the ability of Wickhat after you special summon Snow from the graveyard to put Snow back into the graveyard to summon it a second time. It's almost like Wickhat was designed with the idea of Snow. So the fact that Snow was moved from the Forbidden list, limited now to 1, it's one of the things that really opened up that strategy to maybe going into some of the recent releases of Fairy Tale when Snow was on the Forbidden list. Maybe it made it such that Fairy Tale seemed like it was just a off-to-the-side deck. Once we had Snow, though, I think over the course of the last month or so, we've seen Fairy Tale. It's actually one of my sleeper picks this weekend.
I think it's not a sleeper pick at this point. I think a lot of people have caught on late enough in the game. Now, I think it's a very sudden sort of sea change into our format where it's being included, but it did have real results at a real event recently, and honestly, I think it's here to stay.
I definitely think that that's true. I don't think it's as much of a sleeper as maybe, let's say, the Power Patron combo-oriented strategies were in Columbus. I think that deck, if you knew about it, you knew it was powerful, but I think it could have taken a lot of players by surprise. I do agree. I think Fairy Tale's been doing well enough now that most duelists are probably at least somewhat familiar with what the deck is trying to accomplish. And if you're not, really could be in for a rude awakening this weekend, because I have to imagine that if you're into the deep rounds, round 11 and 12 this weekend, you probably will face at least 1 or 2 Fairy Tales at some point. It's a deck that I think a lot of players are electing to bring this weekend.
It's just cool. You know, we haven't had too many decks throughout the game that change the name of your opponent's monster. You know, there's the heraldic monsters here and there, but that turns out to be a really powerful effect. You know, think about just using it in a chain to something like Fallen of Elbaz or something. You're like, hey, time to fuse. Oh, wait, I don't remember my name anymore. So some really, really good stuff, though. But speaking of good stuff, why don't we throw it to the stage to hear from our winner himself, Mr. Joseph Rothschild.
Thank you very much. I'm here with Joseph. Congratulations on your feature match victory. A mirror match. Were you expecting that at all going into it?
Yes.
Have you played a lot of the mirror match?
Haven't played any of the mirror today. This was my first mirror, but Fairy Tale is absolutely everywhere. The deck is really, really strong in Genesis, a format where the power level is just a little lower than Advanced. That's something that a deck like this can really take advantage of, and it certainly helps that they got a new card in Chaos Origin in Mixo. Really fantastic card.
Did you feel like you were prepared for the mirror match and you're surprised you haven't made it, or was this something you kind of had to figure out as you played the match?
It was something I was prepared for. This mirror match in particular gets a little crusty just because all of your cards have the capacity to fuse with your opponent's monsters that are called Prince of Fairies, and all the monsters just end up being named Prince of Fairies because both players are naming monsters Prince of Fairies. So it's a fun mirror, not at all like the Blitzclick mirror.
It seems very fun. It seemed like you had a lot of fun. You've been having fun with Genesis. You said, in fact, you are Genesis's biggest cheerleader. So I'm going to give you an opportunity. You can take your camera right there. Can you give an ad for why people should try Genesis?
No. I'm kidding. Of course I can. Listen, if you have felt as if you want the opportunity to play some of your favorite cards and favorite decks, but aren't able to because of the high power of the cards in Advanced, Genesis is the perfect place for you. Almost any strategy can do well. I can't tell you how many different decks I have played in today's Swiss rounds, and the number one thing you can do to help improve the lives of those who want to play more Genesis, twofold. Firstly, ask your locals about hosting Genesis events, and secondly, use the hashtag YGOGenesis when you post your lists on socials. So important for a format in its infancy for people to be able to have data, understand what decks are good, and I think we're going to get a lot of really cool stuff out of this tournament as well.
I'm so excited for this tournament. A lot of competitors here. You also gave a shout out to your wife, Jillian, for finishing her dissertation. Do you want to give another shout out to your wife now?
Yeah, congratulations. You did it. It has been a labor of love. She has said 1,000 times that it's harder than having a child was. And I agree, having seen her do both. Shouts out to my family.
Shout out to the family. Also, one final thing for you. Somebody out in the audience said that you bopped the lucky duck earlier. Will you bop the lucky duck again? I don't know if the mic's picking that up. It is literally quacking right there. Thank you so much, Joseph. Congratulations on the win. Back to the casters.
That is one lucky duck. And yeah, we did hear it. We did hear it. By the way, remember, it's 11 for question. But jokes aside, really great showcase. I could have said that better myself. You know, Genesis allows you to play a huge range of different cards and such. But I think we're really starting to see people actually try this for the first time because, again, they get to buy one plane ticket and play 2 main events. Some really cool stuff.